Hello and welcome to Tech Tent, your weekly update on all the hottest news and trends in the technology business. I'm Rory Cellan-Jones, and this week we have exclusive access to an international police operation to close call centres in India involved in what's known as computer software service fraud. Now, it's a common experience. The phone rings and someone who often claims they're from Microsoft tells you there's something wrong with your computer and they can help fix it. Now, this is almost certainly a scam known as computer software service fraud and could end up with you losing large sums of money. For 4 years, an international operation involving British and Indian police and Microsoft has been targeting the criminals behind this fraud. We've had exclusive access to the operation, which recently succeeded in closing 2 Indian call centres. Late night in Kolkata, and the shutters are coming down at the offices of a company which the police say is involved in a fraud affecting thousands of victims in the US and UK. The Kolkata Police Cyber Squad have just raided and shut down what they describe as 2 criminal call centres. 7 men have been arrested, a number of computers and hard drives have been seized. The raids come as part of a 4-year investigation by Indian and UK police and the software giant Microsoft into what's a common crime: computer software service fraud.
This is a debit advice from Royal Bank of Scotland confirming that I've sent £4,000 to these people in India. This man helped me to, on my computer here, to go into my bank account and transfer this money to this branch in India.
Doug Very, a retired businessman living in the southwest of England, is one of the victims of this crime. It started when he bought some security software.
I think, from memory, a pop-up would have appeared on my computer here, and it offered antivirus software for £556 for a period of 12 years. And I thought, per year, that's quite cheap. And so I was okay, and I agreed to sign up for it, and I paid with my Visa credit card.
A few months later, his new security advisors rang.
I was sitting in the evening, it was dark, and the phone went, and I answered it, and it was Vision Web Creations, people that we'd taken this software out with, and they said, "Mr. Very, we've just discovered a serious problem on your computer. Don't put the phone down, but can you walk to your computer?" So I walked from the other room here and looked at this screen where there's a picture of a thick-set man in his 50s, I guess, on a computer doing things. And this chap said, oh my God, this is worse than I thought." And he was increasing my level of anxiety to the point where I was panicking. And he said, "Look what he's doing, oh my God, he's buying, look, he's buying guns, weapons, grenades, bullets." And I'm thinking, he's pretending to be me, and I'm going to be in serious trouble with the police if I'm caught doing this.
The man on the phone had a solution to this terrifying situation.
And then he said, "Right, we can really help you sort this out, and we can offer you a package of increased security and remove this problem off your computer so you'll never have this risk again." And he then said, "Hold on a minute, I'll see what special offer we can do." And he came back with a figure of £4,000. Now, at that time, it wouldn't have mattered what he'd have said. I wanted to finish with the problem.
It was only weeks later that Doug realised this was a scam. The company that had called him was one of those raided by the Kolkata police. That won't, however, put an end to this very widespread fraud. Jim Downing is a British IT professional and in his spare time investigates these scam calls. He's observed the techniques employed.
They will say, "We're from your internet service provider," or "We're somebody like Visa or MasterCard, and we've seen some suspicious activity on your card." But this is all a guise to get you to log into your computer. They will ask for remote access to that computer, and ultimately they will get you to log into your bank account so that they can ultimately send money out of that bank account to theirs. I have a YouTube channel which kind of specialises in tracking some of these scammers. Over the past 6 months, I've had unprecedented access to a scam call centre. And I deliberately have set up a little thing on my computer which allows them to log in, and it looks like a real computer, but it's not a real computer. I have it set up in a way that it deliberately traces their connection, and ultimately I can even reverse that connection. So they will attempt to scam me, but in the background I will connect to their computer. There was a group who were running what's called a refund scam. So they were pretending to be a computer company that had closed down, and they were offering people a refund. And what I was able to do was to deliberately allow them connection to my computer, and I reversed that connection and I could see exactly what the scammers were seeing. So they had a laptop, and they actually lifted this laptop up off their desk, and it had a webcam on it, and I was able to see right around the call centre and both see and hear through their microphone exactly what was going on.
Commander Karen Baxter of the City of London Police says the international operation against the scammers sends out a message.
It's a real success that we've managed to get these raids. They're not the first raids. We've had a number of operations running, so we've built on the intelligence at each point. We now have that success in this stage of the investigation. And what it says to criminals is that we will pursue you no matter where you are in the world. We will work with other law enforcement, we will work with the private sector, and we will do what we need to do to bring you to justice.
As for Doug Very, he hopes others will learn from his experience.
I was an absolute plonker to get involved, but these people are so believable. I can't believe how stupid I was, but it was this degree of fear that they generated, and I was just going to do what they told me to get out of this problem.
Doug Very, victim of that very scary fraud and common fraud. Special guest Isabella Kaminsky from the Financial Times. Have you had those kind of calls?
I have, actually. When I was based in Geneva, I would get them, and they're very aggressive, and they insist that they are reputable representatives of the companies in question, and it's very hard to get them off the phone, but you can play with them a bit.
Yes, I've kept them on the phone and recorded some of the calls and jousted with them a little. Szu Ping Chan, BBC economics reporter. What about you?
No, I feel like left out slightly. I mean, I don't have a home phone. I screen all my calls. I tend to text people rather than speak to them. But it sounds like these scams are getting more and more sophisticated. It reminds me of the Talk, similar scam from an Indian call centre a couple of years ago, where they're really preying on people's fears.
Yeah, and elderly, vulnerable people. Often at risk here. It's a frightening scam. You're listening to Tech 10 on the BBC World Service with Rory Cellan-Jones.